All right, 6 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. This is a big weekend for the folks who were once a part of a very important tourist attraction here in Ocala called Six Gun Territory. I'm sure most of you already know about Six Gun Territory. And Robin worked at Six Gun Territory years ago when it was there, and probably has a lot of information I've never even been able to extract from her. So I'm going to try to extract information from Robin right now. I actually,
got your list.
Some years ago, I had put together, in fact, I could tell you, it was March 16th, 2012. Look at that. I even put a date on it. I put together a Six Gun Territory trivia game, and I really never used it because the only person, it would be unfair. Like if it was you versus Joe, I mean, you worked at Six Gun Territory, so a lot of these questions you would know, I would think, the answers to. So.
Maybe.
But anyway, so there's a reunion of sorts, and it sounds like it's a big deal.
It's huge.
I've been following it on Facebook. The people, your brother is an important part of this. Your brother Jim.
He's on the committee.
So let's pick your brain. Can I pick your brain a little bit?
Yeah.
All right. When did you start working at Six Gun Territory?
1978.
And it was already around
in April of 78. Yeah.
And it was already around for a long time.
Yeah, since the 60s.
All right. I'm going to get to these trivia questions in just a second because you might disagree with some of the answers I have on here because I can't remember how I did the research for this thing. But anyway, so, and your brother worked there at the same time you did?
He worked, I think he was there. When did he graduate? He graduated in like 74 or 75 from high school. I think that's when he was there, like during his senior year in high school before he started college.
So some of the alumni who will be there tomorrow, you'll be there. I'm going to do my best to try to document it with the video camera, but you will be bumping into people you haven't seen for all these years.
Yeah, long time, with the exception of like Jim Gibbons or Scott Proctor, a couple of the gunfighters and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So were you ever, I mean, you've got show business in your soul. Were you ever tempted to be on the stage? I know you worked in the office.
No, because I don't have that kind of talent. I can't dance like the Can girls or sing. Man, Sheila Spalick and Leslie Rupp, they were outstanding. And the girls that danced, there was not one time that I was tempted to be on the stage because I'm not that way.
All those kids who loved Robin and the Giant are saying, what? What?
That was later.
What? What, did I force you into that?
Gosh, no.
All right. So you worked in the office. Now, as a person who works in the office, were you as much aware of what was going on in the rest of the park as anybody who was a gunslinger?
Yeah, probably more so because I worked in the marketing and advertising end,
right?
Trying to get the groups and making sure they were comfortable. And during the Gaslight and Velvet Dinner Theater days, they were amazing.
All right.
And then I worked in the accounting. I kind of did that.
Okay. Now,
all of that.
All right. Now that right there, what do you call it? The Gaslight and Dinner Theater?
Gaslight and Velvet Dinner Theater.
Gaslight and Velvet Dinner Theater.
Outstanding.
All right.
Yeah.
Now,
1 year only.
I think most of this audience does not know what that is or was. So what was that?
That was when the Palace Saloon was transformed at nighttime. They had special lights in there. They had special seating areas in there with different chairs. In the train, there was a special coach that was two special cars that were added to the train engine, and it was high end. It was all transformed. It had red velvet seats in there. It had lights that simulated the look of gas lights. They were electric, but they had to, they simulated the look of the gas lights.
And that wasn't part of Six Gun, the entire history of Six Gun. That came toward the end.
Yes, it did.
And was it put
toward the end before it closed and then reopened? That was that end, not the very end.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you some of these questions, not to trick you. I mean, I'll ask them and then I'll give the answer. So I'm not trying to.
And I've seen what you wrote.
Okay, but what I'm trying to get you to do is to expand on some of these things. Okay. It says currently there is a working Six Gun Territory in Michigan, in Lexington, Michigan. Michigan. Did this Six Gun Territory sell their stuff to that Six Gun, or is it just two separate things? Do you know?
I believe it's two separate things.
Okay.
I believe it was two separate things.
All right. Now, according to this, Six Gun Territory closed for good in 1984. Is that true?
Yes.
That is true. Okay.
Yeah.
What feature of Six Gun Territory inspired Walt Disney when he designed Walt Disney World in Florida? The answer is the idea of taking a train ride from the parking lot and the arrival area to the actual theme park, thus separating the fantasy world from the real world.
Mm-hmm. That's what we were told, and that's what we believe.
So that started here.
Here, yeah.
But it truly started up in the Carolinas, and the other was Ghost Town in the Sky?
Well, he had both. Disney incorporated the gondolas. I mean, the Six Gun here had their gondolas. That also, you could either ride the train or go on the buckets, as we called them, and come into the park 2 ways.
Okay.
It wasn't just the train. You could ride the buckets.
So Six Gun Territory opened up in February of 1963. Mm-hmm. Wow.
From what I understand.
February 2nd, 1963. In what year were the old Western-style buildings finally demolished to make way for the new Six Gun Plaza? It says 1986.
Yeah, I believe that because they were
So it was
really
closed.
deteriorating.
So it was closed for 2 years. Mm-hmm. And now they're rebuilding, or they're building replicas of them over at the place in Williston?
Yeah, and you can, if you go on Facebook to the Six Gun Territory reunion page, you'll see the fronts of the buildings that are there. It's absolutely amazing. They're planning on making them full-fledged buildings and having a town there.
So R.B. Coburn, do you know him?
Yes, he was a nice man.
You knew him. Okay, so he was
I didn't know him, but I met him.
You met him. And he was the
Yeah.
developer of Six Gun.
Yeah, him and Pearson.
And he built this one to duplicate the one in Maggie Valley. Mm-hmm. That's what it says here. Okay, and he chose that location because he wanted it to be close to Silver Springs.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Russell Pearson, you said you know him?
Yeah, because they were both together. And their wives, each of their wives were outstanding.
Are either of them still around?
I don't know. Probably not, but I can't say.
Russell Pearson of Oklahoma was a stickler for authenticity, and the buildings in Six Gun Territory were real buildings, not just front pieces.
Right, exactly. They were all working. They had plumbing, they had electricity, they had everything.
Oh, man.
It was really outstanding.
Would have been nice to have still had that.
Well, we lobbied, when it closed, we lobbied the city of Ocala, the Committee of 100 then, and also Marion County to purchase it and, fix it up and use it as a campground. And then you could still have the town as a working town. You'd have the general store. It would adhere, help the campers and things. But
Right.
Nobody wanted it here.
All right, so let's see if I can ask you a question. See if you can, I am going to try to make you guess one. In addition to the Western Village, Six Gun Territory featured an Indian village. What other ethnicity was represented with a village at Six Gun?
It was Mexico.
Yeah, man. You know.
Because, that was the games. That was the video games and
okay.
things. Yeah, I can't remember the name of the owner of that section because most of the businesses were owned independently.
The tallest mountain in Florida was the mountain at Six Gun Territory.
Isn't that amazing?
It was fake, of course, but it stood 60 feet tall.
That's amazing.
It was
absolutely amazing.
60 feet tall. That's about the height of the building downtown Ocala. That old hotel.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you wouldn't think it was that tall because you were just enjoying the train and the buckets and everything.
It was built with 2x4s, chicken wire, and building mud. 60 feet tall mountain. Wow. We're going to continue talking about Six Gun Territory with Robin McBlain, who worked there for how many years?
5.
And her brother is involved in the ceremony, the party this weekend. We'll be right back.
ABC.com, safe boating is no accident. It'll be hot and humid today. Sunshine mixed with clouds. It'll lead to a thunderstorm in the afternoon. High 90 to 93. Tonight, some clearing. Shower thunderstorm near the coast this evening. Low 71 to 75. Tomorrow again, sunshine mixed with clouds. Couple showers and thunderstorms. High of 82 to 88. An afternoon thunderstorm for Sunday with a high of 81 to 87. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Maggie Johnson.
If you're anything like I was, the thought of getting older was the last thing on your mind. But here we are. For me, it started slowly. The lack of energy. never being in the mood. And when I was, I could never perform at my best. I tried the pills and other treatments with minimal results, and all but given up on my sex life. Then I found the doctors at New Male Medical Center. Wow, they made a new male out of me. Feel like I'm 25 again. I have renewed vigor, so much more energy, and no longer worry about my performance. New Male treated me like my situation was one of a kind, with a custom treatment plan that really works. I feel great. They can create one for you too. It does not matter if you suffer from low testosterone, erectile dysfunction, or just want to last longer. New Male will help you.
Call New Male Medical Center today at 352-404-4779. 352-404-4779. That's 352-404-4779. It will change your life. 352-404-4779. Keep up with what's going on in the downtown area with Ocala Downtown Newspaper. Delivering thousands of newspapers to businesses in the downtown area, Ocala Downtown is there to keep you informed. They even have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask in return is that you tell them where you heard about it. It's simple. For more info, just call Tom's Picks, 352-804-1223, and pick up your copy of the Downtown Ocala newspaper today. Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
Do you have areas that have started sagging or drooping? Is what you're looking at not quite the same as it was years ago? Are there enhancements you've been putting off? Is there serious damage you need fixed? Then call on us, Damage Control Services, when your roof is sagging and the drywall is drooping after a storm, or your home just needs some enhancements. From damage repairs to new construction, Damage Control Services is here to help.
What are the most common questions those nearing retirement are asking? Will I outlive my money? Retirement questions like these and many more will be answered every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement with hosts Francois and Julian Pozenet. Francois and Julian will help you put your retirement puzzle together. Catch Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement Saturdays at 9 a.m. on Ocala's News Talk, The Source 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
18 minutes after 11 o'clock. All right, Robin is actually the guest right now because Robin McBlain worked over at Six Gun Territory. This weekend is a big reunion over in Williston, and if you're heading over that way, you'll probably bump into us tomorrow.
Yep.
We won't be there Sunday, but it is both days, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to do my best to try to put some kind of a video up there. I'm sure there are professionals who will be doing the same thing. So,
can I add something about today?
Yeah.
Because today is a very special day for the students within the surrounding counties. They have field trips scheduled to go to the place where the reunion is being held.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they have they're having history presentations. Like my brother Jim, he's a retired band director of 35 years, so he's going to be teaching 7 classes today. They're a half hour each length, and about the music of the Old West and things.
Oh, wow.
And that music related. Then you've got the gunfighters demonstrating things to the students, the can girls, just anything and everything that's fun. So it's all free for the students, and the students are benefiting because they're all volunteering. Everybody involved with the project is volunteering their time, and none of the participants in there is making any money from it.
Speaking of the music, one of the Royal Guardsmen played honky-tonk piano at Six Gun for 2.5 years.
Yep.
Did you know him?
I met him,
His
but
name?
I didn't know him. He graduated with Ronnie. I mean, he was part of the guys from Lake Ware High School.
Do you know his name? Billy Taylor.
Billy, yeah.
Taylor's what it says
I
here.
think we had him, and didn't we have Billy in the studio?
Well, we had the
When
Royal
the Royal
Guardsmen.
Guardsmen were here, I thought, wasn't Billy one of them?
I
can't remember now.
So here's another musical question. What rock band released an album in 1983 that featured a photo that was taken at Six Gun?
That I don't know.
Molly Hatchet.
I couldn't have told you that.
Molly Hatchet, their album No Guts, No Glory. The album cover was photographed right there in Six Gun Territory.
Wow.
That's cool, huh?
That's very cool.
All right, here's another trivia question. Six Gun Territory was often visited by celebrities. Did you meet any of them?
Let's see, not the Cowboys. I met Tom T. Hall. I met the people that did Afternoon Delight.
Starland Vocal Band.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And no, I not in the 60s because I wasn't there then.
Now it says here,
But they had a lot of pictures all over the courthouse.
it says here that frequently the celebrities would stay at a hotel on the property. There was a hotel on the property. It was called the Frontier Hotel. So that was a working hotel in Six Gun.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Could anybody stay there, or was that just reserved for celebrity guests?
I don't know the answer, but I would, if I had to guess, I would say.
Do you remember it?
Guess.
Do you remember the Frontier Hotel?
I don't remember that. No, I remember the sign. I remember the front of it, but I don't remember that. I think they closed that in the 70s.
6-gun territory, according to my research.
You did a good job.
Had a functioning church. It was non-denominational, but it was packed on Sundays.
And that was ongoing. The Frontier Church. There were actually
Frontier Church, yeah.
Sunday services up till the time that they closed. You could come in for the service.
There was a popular local restaurant that provided a cafeteria for 6-gun territory guests called Morrison's Cafeteria.
Yep.
How many of you remember Morrison's?
Yep.
Morrison's became Piccadilly. This studio that we're broadcasting from used to be Piccadilly Cafeteria.
Yeah.
Was this also called Morrison's here in the mall?
Yes, it was.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, it was, because they had the 2 locations, and then, then the Piccadilly took over. But
So-
there was, after Morrison's pulled out, then a family had purchased the rights to have that as their cafeteria there.
So there was a Morrison's Cafeteria in 6-gun territory?
Yeah.
Wow. Now, you mentioned the other day there were no horses, even though there were cowboys. So there were no horses in 6-gun. So when they did the gunfights and the guy would pretend to die, there was an undertaker who came and got the body. It's a live guy.
Yeah.
But what was the undertaker's name?
His name was Digger. I remember his
Was
name.
that his real name, or was that?
No, that was the character
his
name. There
character
were a
name.
couple different. And, the cowboys like to do funny things. Like one of the cowboys that was dying, he had stuffed a whole bunch of Snickers in his mouth because, and had it. And then when he died, because Digger would always do this big thing, and he would go over there, he'd measure him, and then he'd pull up his boots and stuff. And then one of the things was to open his mouth. So that one day they opened up the cowboy's mouth, and there was all these Snickers, peanuts,
nasty.
and stuff. And yeah, so they liked having fun.
And then the dead guy got a character. Did he start laughing?
No, he was pretty deadpan, but Digger was just.
So
he
did
was
you know in
beside
advance that he was
himself.
doing? Like, did you guys in the office come out and watch?
No.
No, they just
No.
told you about it, huh?
Yeah. So it was funny. I mean, we hung out the side. We looked through the window at it because we thought, yeah, this is it. It's coming.
Hi, hey, Jen. In 1960,
But we didn't go outside.
in
to watch it.
1963, it cost $2 for adults to go into 6-gun territory.
Yep.
The most it ever was. What was the highest price it ever cost to go into 6-gun? Do you know?
Oh gosh, I can't remember.
$5.95. $5.95 was the most it ever cost to go into 6-gun territory.
There was a lot of traffic there. It was open 7 days a week. We had this reciprocity between Silver Springs and 6-gun, that if any family at all wanted to come into 6-gun, that the employees at Silver Springs we would allow them all in for free. And it was the same. Like if my relatives came down from up north, it didn't have to be immediate family. It just had to be family. We'd call up, and then my relatives would go to, Silver Springs for free. It was a really, really nice reciprocity there.
All right, I answered this, Robin. I'm not sure about this. On the old Marion County Courthouse, when 6-gun territory finally closed, the tower clock installed in 6-gun's Frontier Courthouse after the demolition of the old Marion County Courthouse in 1965. So it was on the old courthouse in Ocala.
Yeah.
And then it was moved to the Frontier Courthouse in 6-gun. And it's still here now?
Yeah, it's on top of the number 1 building.
So that clock on top of the
Across
number 1
from the
building,
square,
across from the
yeah.
square, is the same clock tower that was at 6-gun.
Yeah.
And before that, it was on the old courthouse.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Wow.
It's very cool.
There were two saloons where the Can girls danced. What were they called? Palace and what?
The Palace Saloon and the Red Dog Saloon. The Red Dog Saloon was kind of like a dive, because it was smaller than the Palace. But it was great. I mean, Bill Rada was the star of that show, and Ken James was the star of the Palace Theater. But then when they'd each have a day off, they wouldn't have the same day off. That way they could, switch roles. And it was really, really good. Yeah, the Red Dog was more of like a bar, and the Palace was more of like a stage.
So the train that will be at the reunion tomorrow and Sunday is not the same train.
No.
Do you know where the actual train went?
That I don't know.
It went to the Jefferson and Cypress Bayou Railway in northeast Texas. That's where the old train from Six Gun actually is right now.
Oh, that is so cool. I am glad it's still in use somewhere.
The sidewalks at Six Gun Territory were wooden sidewalks. Mm-hmm. When it was torn up, the demolition guys found a lot of change underneath it. Did you know that?
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah,
I believe it because you didn't have credit cards back then and things. You paid cash for everything.
What was the name of the hat shop? Do you remember that? Ann's?
It was Ann's,
Ann's hat shop. Do you remember who Ann was?
No, it was just the name of the Ann, but oh gosh, who owned that? There was a really nice lady that owned that hat shop because they were all individual businesses.
Now it says here that there was a stable where horse rides were available in a small ring, and a live pony and donkey merry-go-round was there.
Yeah, like you do, like for county fairs and things, and you have those tiny the small horses.
So
and
that was the extent of the horses there, huh?
Yeah,
but there was no horses
kids
walking in. Like the cowboys didn't ride horses in the streets.
No, I think because it was too small and too dangerous. Maybe if the horses got out of hand, they might hurt somebody. Now I think they're going to have horses at the reunion, but I'm not sure. I've seen photos of the Can-Can girls on the horses and the gunfighters, but I don't know if they're actually going to use them or not. We'll see tomorrow. It'll be fun.
It says here, in addition to the idea of separating the parking area from the park, what two ideas for Disney World did Walt Disney credit to his visit to Six Gun Territory in the 1960s? Walt Disney was in Ocala.
Yeah.
According to this, the same he flew out of Ocala on the same day John F. Kennedy was assassinated.
Isn't that something?
So he was here the day JFK was assassinated.
Yep. And he utilized the Ocala airport, too.
So anyway, he credited, in addition to using the railroad separation of the parking lot from the park idea, he also got the idea for the gondola bucket rides, as you mentioned, and the saloon with the Can-Can girls.
Yeah, because he's got that saloon in Frontierland, which is called Frontierland in Disney World in the Magic Kingdom. It's called Frontierland.
Isn't that interesting?
And I think it's really cool because he designed it.
So they have Can-Can girls in the Magic Kingdom?
Yeah, in the Frontierland part.
See, I forgot about that.
Yeah, where you shoot the guns and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Which shop at Six Gun Plaza houses many of the artifacts from Six Gun Territory? Oh, that's right. Joe was telling me this. Joe Martone.
Yeah, Joe knows.
One of the shops at the Six Gun Plaza houses many of the artifacts from Six Gun Territory. Do you know which shop it is?
Yeah, that was the barber shop.
The barber shop.
Yeah, because we were talking to somebody about that.
Joe told us.
That's the only way. That's right. And that's the only way I knew that.
What was the roller coaster called?
Oh, that was the Mouse. The Monster Mouse.
Monster Mouse.
Yeah, when my brother was working there, he was part of the maintenance crew, and that one day it was just whipping so fast that it took a dive off the top. And
wow.
So the guys, Elmer Winton was the train engineer, Robbie Carr was, the train maintenance guy, and Jim Fry was the conductor, and those three guys together kept the buckets and the train running. They were just absolutely phenomenal.
So what's your fondest memory of working at Six Gun?
Oh, I think just the fun things. I mean, I don't have an individual one because everything was such fun. Yeah.
You were young.
Yeah.
Wow.
I like the Gaslight and Velvet Dinner Theater because the Can-Can girls were there at night, and they were dressed in these elegant outfits with long gloves. And the late Bridget Bartlett, of course, she was the one that did all the costuming. And she did costumes all around the world, not just for the Ocala Civic Theater, but literally all over the world. And she won awards from all over the world because she was the most outstanding costumer ever. And Ben Rossi brought the great shows. He was wonderful.
Wow. Well, you're gonna be reminiscing tomorrow.
It'll be fun because you'll be able to meet all those people and just have a really, really good time. I'm looking forward to doing our video.
And by the way, all the ladies are really liking Scott Proctor.
Oh, yeah, he's...
When did he get so good looking? When did that happen?
I know.
Right.
Well, he cut that ponytail, see.
Thank you, Robin.
Fox News Radio, I'm Karen McHugh. Remembering 9/11, ceremonies in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, the Pentagon in New York City, reading the names of nearly 3,000